Yeah, there's usually a join stage button or speak on stage, I think it's called. If not, you should at least be able to do request to speak. There we go. Alright. You requested to speak, just invited him. There we go. You're on stage now.
Okay, we good? Hey, there we go. Absolutely. I have a slideshow that I've built discussing one of the most integral parts of Magic the Gathering, the number one card game in the world for the last 32 years. I'm just going to go ahead and share that part of my screen. And I assume everyone can see that. Good, good. Let's make sure everyone else can see it. Okay, I'm getting thumbs up in the... Cool. Okay, so this is a event I like to call Slicing the Pie, also known as Breaking Down Magic the Gathering. And this is about the colors of Magic the Gathering. Magic the Gathering is a card game created in 1993 by a man named Richard Garfield, and it is currently owned by a company known as Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro, who also creates My Little Pony. This card game puts you in the role of an interdimensional wizard known as a planeswalker, able to travel the multiverse in order to collect spells, hunt for treasure, or even fight your other planeswalker friends. In your travels, you are going to use one or more of what are called the colors of magic. What are the colors? They are the 5 most basic rules of magic, the 5 aspects that make up mana. They are, in order from top clockwise, white, blue, black, red, and green. These are arranged in this order as the color pie. These are actually ordered in a very specific way. The community calls this order WUBERG. W for white, U for blue, B for black, R for red, and G for green. The order of the color pie is found on the back of every single Magic the Gathering card. It's found in certain pieces of artwork within the game, and even in some spin-off games, the colors are also always ordered in this order. The reason being is that the colors of Magic all represent specific facets and aspects of mana and magic. Colors can do certain things, but cannot do other things. The order that they're placed in exemplifies synergistic and antagonistic relationships. As you can see on the color wheel, the white mana is located adjacently to the green and blue symbols. This is to represent that those color combinations of white and green or blue and white can share similar goals, similar experiences, similar game plans. Whereas white and red and white and black, being on the opposite sides of the color wheel, tend to have inverse ideals or inverse functions. And we'll go through the colors in depth here. First one is white mana, the first one in the order. White mana is the color of order and law. It is safety and protection, and it's also the color of life, brightness. In this color, you're going to find a lot of smaller creatures that are going to be such as soldiers, knights, humans, smaller birds. You're going to find the cat tribes. Most of the cat tribes are in white. White also is the main color of clerics and other healers. When playing with white mana, the most common thing would be gaining a lot of life or creating a lot of creatures. White is also very good at protecting itself. It can put effects down that will protect your creatures from being destroyed or being targeted by effects. It's also really good at increasing the power of all of your creatures at once, almost like an anthem or a board-wide buff. One of the things white is really good at, though, is destruction, surprisingly. In order to maintain law and order, sometimes you have to wipe the slate clean, so white is known as the board wipe color. Most of the most destructive, clear the field of all cards effects are going to be found in white. Conversely, white struggles with certain things. White struggles to deal with interaction with itself. It struggles to deal with cards that an opponent has in their hands. It struggles to deal with effects that are happening while your opponent is playing their turn. White takes a more insular aspect. Conversely, to a color that is much more interactive, we have blue mana. Blue mana, very obviously, is the color of water. A lot of aquatic creatures make their home within blue. A lot of wizards make their home within blue. Blue is the color not only of water and air, but it is also the color of intellect, control, illusions, subterfuge. Blue is the color you play when you want to dictate how the rest of the board shapes itself. It is the color of counter spells. It is the color of returning cards from the field back to the hand. With blue, you are in control of everything. You decide who gets to play, when they get to play, and how. Conversely, blue tends to not have a lot of creatures. The ones it does have tend to be weak on their own, but will have some effect that will help you lock down a game plan. It'll help you shape the board. Not to say blue doesn't have large creatures. Being the water mana, it's home to the Leviathans. You get large sea creatures, sometimes even large dragons in blue. Next up, we have one of my personal favorites, black mana. Black mana, very obvious. The color of death. It's the color of sacrifice. The color of ambition. In this color, mages are more likely to destroy their own creatures than their opponents. They're more likely to have everyone discard their hands. They're also more likely to start using their graveyard as another resource. All those cards that either they or you have spent time getting rid of, that's another resource to them. Black has the more typical fantasy-esque creatures you would associate with something dark. They have the zombies. They are the primary color of vampires and the primary color of demons, who tend to be on the bigger end of Magic. Black is also one of the best colors when it comes to searching your deck of cards to get a card. If you want to find a specific card, black is usually the best color to do that. It's also the best at reanimation. Did your favorite creature just get destroyed? In black, just bring it back. They have tons of effects, either on the creature or with other kinds of spells, to always have creatures coming from your hand and your graveyard. It is very hard to keep the creatures in black off the field. Next we have red, a very primal color. It is the color of fire and lightning, but also the color of passion, destruction, but more importantly, it is the color of freedom. Red mages tend to not like rules and order. They tend to be much more impulsive and living how they want to. And for the most part, most mages that use red mana are not people you're going to tell no when they want to do something. Red is where we get goblins, probably one of the most famous Magic the Gathering creature types. Lots of little smelly dudes that you can cast for very cheap and will quickly overrun the board, which red excels at. Red is also where we get dragons and elementals. The dragons, of course, going to be the upper edge of the larger creatures you're going to be making with red. Red is really good at damage, doing direct amounts of damage to a player, a creature, or a planeswalker, which is a specific type of card. However, it's not so good at removing certain other things. White is very good at setting up enchantments on the field to buff their creatures or protect them. But red doesn't have a way to interact with that. Red doesn't deal with enchantments. Red would rather just burn the creatures to death. Similarly, we have green, also considered a very primal color. The color of nature, color of growth, the color of strength. Green, like red mana, is very much on the nature side of things. A lot of larger beasts, a lot of lands. Green is the color you're going to play if you want to play a bunch of land as fast as possible to cast these big spells. And you're going to be playing some very large spells in green. While you have on the lower end of the mana, you have elves. Elves are special because most elves can make mana on their own. Green can do a strategy that is known as ramp, rapidly accumulating your mana base. Using that large amount of mana you can get very early, you can summon large beasts, or pay them for even larger hydras that get bigger over time. Green is very good at making creatures. However, it doesn't have a lot of effects to protect them, unless it is making them larger. Green is very good at suddenly making a very small kitten into a towering behemoth. It's also very good, unlike red, at removing enchantments and artifacts, two very prominent card types. Green has many answers for those. However, it can't do a whole lot to a graveyard. It can't stop your opponent from using their graveyard, and it doesn't usually have ways to interact with its own graveyard. Also, not that good at searching libraries or drawing cards. Green's card advantage tends to come just from how big its creatures are. Now that I've given a brief overview of the 5 colors real quick, I'll go back to the color pie. Now, these are interesting aspects to the game of Magic the Gathering, and I firmly believe these are the reason why the game has lasted so long. Not only does the game have one of the most well-defined resource paths in order to have a game, these 5 colors represent the identity of cards. When you see a card and it has one or more of these colors, they're so clearly defined in what they can and cannot do that even just seeing the colors, you can already assume what the card is going to do, what game plan it's going to exist in. That is a huge strength when it comes to a card game. When you can have that level of recognition to a card, when you can just see what identity the card has and you already have a feeling of what you can do with it, that's very strong. Not a lot of games have this. Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon, not really. Pokemon sorta has it with the Pokemon typings, but that game is more built off knowledge of the Pokemon itself rather than a knowledge of the game mechanics. And Yu-Gi-Oh! Is just a mess. I've seen a couple other games try to encompass this concept. Digimon, Final Fantasy card game, the One Piece card game. But I feel like they miss the mark when it comes to what should a color do. But I think what's important about a color is not most what it can do, but what it can't do. And what this leads into is you're going to be playing a deck at some point. It's only one color. But you decide, hey, I want to do a different strategy, but I don't want to switch up the color completely. So we get the pairs. The pairs in Magic are not only some of its greatest strengths in the card game, but also in flavor. As I mentioned earlier, in the game, you are a planeswalker. You are an interdimensional wizard that can travel the planes. One of those places is a plane known as Ravnica. Ravnica is a sprawling cityscape bustling with daily life, and it is ruled by the 10 guilds of Ravnica. Well, simple math. 10 is the number of two color combinations in Magic. And as I mentioned at the beginning, there are allies in colors. For example, Azorius, represented here as a blue triangle filled with a maze-like runic inscription. They represent the color combination of white and blue. They are the raw example of what those colors share, which is control and order. In flavor, Azorius are the lawmakers of Ravnica. They create the laws that govern the plane and spend time debating and having informal meetings on information. In the card game, when you combine blue and white into for control, you tend to have a lot of what are called stasis effects. Effects that are going to make your opponent unable to do certain actions or any action. They're also going to be very good at drawing cards on top of that. So you're looking at a very heavy control theme. Also in the control function, but a bit more on the win at any cost scenario. Moving clockwise, we have House Dimir. Dimir is blue and black, and they exemplify the concept of ambition. Blue and black both want control over actions, whereas blue wants to control the field by deciding what comes in. Black wants to control the field by deciding what's going to stay. House Dimir acts as a spy network within Ravnica, and in cards is represented by destruction effects or evasion effects. What I mean by that is that Dimir tends to have cards that can destroy creatures and then force your opponent to also suffer additional setbacks. But also, Dimir creatures tend to have the ability to attack the opponent without being blocked. Either they can't be blocked by things that are too big, or in the case of certain cards, cannot be blocked at all. Perfect for a spy network, slipping behind enemy lines. Following on, we have Rakdos at the very bottom. Rakdos exemplifies red and black. This is pure destruction. This is destruction of self, destruction of others, destruction of the field. It is rampant and untamed chaos. Combining the sacrificial nature of black with the destructive aspect of red leads to a lot of explosions. In lore, Rakdos are a cult that worships a demon of revelry. They tend to host carnivals that would make a Saw movie look tame. They also do not mind blowing themselves up. Several Rakdos creatures have the ability to sacrifice themselves to give you advantage, either by doing a bunch of damage to your opponent's creatures or even to your opponent. Rakdos is definitely a good deck to play if you just want to watch everything blow up. Next we have Gruul, represented on the bottom left there by the Burning Signpost. Red and green, being the more primal and natural colors, are represented on Ravnica as a outlier group. The Gruul clans are destructive armies whose whole goal in life is the destruction of the city. The return to nature, the return to more animalistic, primal ways. In red and green, you're going to see a lot of strong creatures that tend to be very cheap to cast. But you're not going to have a lot of interaction outside of just punching your opponent really, really hard with really, really big creatures. They don't really have a lot of draw. They don't have a lot of targeted destruction. They have some burn. They have some make your own creatures bigger. But a lot of Gruul's strategy is just, I'm going to play a creature and then I'm going to play a bigger creature. Speaking of bigger creatures, the final one of the allied grouping is Selesnya, shown here as the sun-kissed tree. True. Selesnya is jokingly referred to in the community as the hippie colors. Being white and green, it's a lot of protection and life-gaining growth. It tends to play more insular, making a bunch of creatures and making them stronger while populating a ability they have where they can take a token creature they have and make another one. Selesnya boards tend to be wide, a lot of creatures that can be big, but don't usually get big until the very end. They're also very good at removing any obstacles in their path. They can remove artifacts and enchantments very easily, and they tend to also have very good ways to shut down larger creatures. Selesnya is actually the healers of Ravnica, led by the Dryad Tristani. They are the ones who heal the citizens after riots or Rakdos revelries, and are considered one of the only truly good guilds on Ravnica. Next we have one of the more interesting aspects, which is not what colors do when they're similar in design goals, but how do you make a flavorful guild when you're using two colors that are antithetical in nature? We have the enemy pairs. The enemy pairs act more of what I would call the negative space of colors. They focus more on not what one of the colors can do, but more of what is that empty space between the two colors? How do we use the opposite nature as the flavor? The prime example is Orzhov, represented by the eclipsed sun. They are the concept of the combination of black and white. Life and death are very easily the first things you would think of. But Orzhov instead focuses on the contrasting elements of light's love of law and order, with black's propensity towards sacrifice and ambition. Well, when you combine those together, you get the Orzhov Syndicate, almost a mafia. The Orzhov Syndicate is the one who runs the banks. They're the ones who run the churches. They're the one who make contracts that are only in their favor. Orzhov decks tend to have a lot of sacrificial effects that are what are called symmetrical. I sacrifice a creature, you sacrifice a creature. But they also tend to have a lot of cards that have tithing effects. Your opponent has to do something whenever they play, or you get value as well. A long game is the goal of Orzhov. They want to slowly whittle down the opponent through not so much resource denial, but extortion. Following up, we have Boros, white and red. How do you reconcile the concept of law and order on white with the passion and freedom of red? You have the army. The guards and our standing armies of Ravnica are represented by the Boros. They are very fierce and strong warriors that also, like a lot of the other colors, tend to play very fast. The difference being, Boros doesn't tend to have a lot of smaller creatures. They tend to have very large costed creatures that are weak on their own, but spread effects over their battalion, or effects when they attack. They're also very good at shutting down opponents' bigger game plans by destroying their larger creatures or destroying some of their defenses. Boros is definitely a good color combination to play if you want to play what's called aggro. You want to play aggressive and fast and strong, and you just want to throw things down that won't die but can still punch at your opponent. Next, we have a fan favorite, probably the most popular guild. Izzet. Izzet is blue and red. Blue and red are very different in the fact that red is more passionate and primal, but blue is more determined and intellectual. When you combine those together in such raw opposites, you get the Izzet, a bunch of mad scientists doing crazy experiments that most of the time end up exploding themselves. On Ravnica, the Izzet Conclave are the ones who make a lot of the inventions in the world. A lot of the technology runs through Izzet. However, being mad scientists, people don't tend to trust them. On cards, this ends up being a lot of very stringent blue and red effects. Burning something and drawing cards, usually the game plan. But it's also a lot of control at the cost of things. A lot of very specific high-powered effects can also be found in Izzet, unlike a lot of the other colors. Izzet is the only one of the 10 guilds of Ravnica that have the ability to take more turns. They can literally bend time in their experiments. The next one is Simic. Blue and green. Blue tends to be more artificial in nature. Blue is where you're going to find a lot of artifacts, you're going to find a lot of illusions. Whereas green is more natural. You're going to have very feral beasts or the land itself. Combining those two together, we get Simic. Simic and Izzet are allies in the story. For while Izzet is more of the mad scientist when it comes to technology, Simic are the mad scientists when it comes to creatures. They are biomancers. They toy with the concept of DNA and hybridization, giving us strange creatures like jellyfish hydras and crab sharks and strange unknowable beasts like the experiment Kraj, who is just a heaving mass of body parts and strange architecture. Simic is very good at making creatures that will grow on their own. Unlike Selesnya, which has to do certain things or play certain cards to make all of their field bigger, Simic takes the idea of a creature in itself will just mutate and evolve and grow spontaneously due to their DNA tomfoolery. This is shown in their keyword evolve. Whenever a creature that is bigger than a creature with evolve comes into play, the evolved creature gets bigger to match. Now, all of these guilds that I've mentioned are in constant strife with each other. And with strife comes death. Things die. And where do they go when they die? Well, they're buried in what's called the Undercity, home of our final guild and the first one I ever played, Golgari. Golgari represents green and black. Now, green and black are opposites in the ideals of black is the color of death, but green is the color of life. Surprisingly, this is not the white-black alignment. Instead, they've moved this to green-black. Now, when you have life and death so closely intertwined, what do you get? Well, you get zombies, but you also get funguses, you get insects, you get strange necromancy. Golgari is only nominally a guild. The idea of Golgari is that it is the rot and festering underbelly that lives in the Undercity. It is the waste and refuse of the upper floors of the city turned into a festering and frothing army of destruction. Golgari are very good at reanimation, one of the best, but they're also good at using death. One of the most popular things that Golgari players can do is what's called dredge, one of the strongest keywords in Magic, which lets you just put cards into the graveyard for relatively free. And with Golgari, they want things in the graveyard, so this just adds to their value. In Golgari, you're likely to find very large insects, ones the size of cars or houses. You also tend to find not so much zombies on their own. You'll find plant zombies, very strange and vine-like creatures living in the sewers and under reaches. All of these 10 color combinations, of course, are only one aspect of them. A lot of other cards or sets can do somewhat different things with very similar color combinations. Some places, the blue-green may not be biomancers. They may just be merfolk living their life and exploring the land. On one plane, the white-black set is vampires, and instead of being the bank or a mafia, are instead conquistadors. On some sets, the white and red aren't guards and soldiers, but are instead just normal people living their life and defending their towns from horrific things that lurk in the woods. I think one of the strongest things with the enemy pairs has to be how creative the flavor gets. Working within the contrast between colors really gives a strong identity and flavor that players attach to, whereas the allied pairs have more synergistic effects. They're much easier to understand the relationship between the colors. They have a much more set game plan that is simple to pick up and very fun to master. Now, going on, we do have other combinations. There are 3 color combinations as seen in the lands of Alara and Tarkir. There are 4 color combinations, and there are even 5 color decks that play every single color. There are also 0 color decks. There are decks out there that don't play a single color. Now, they tend to have very strange effects due to not having a color identity. Now, one of the terms I use for these combinations are what I call synergy adjacent. They tend to have a game plan, but the synergies between them tend to be very esoteric. Take, for example, if you were going to be playing white, red, and black, while you're going to have the ferocity of white and red and black working together, you're also going to have the white-black aspect doing something different than that, but all somewhat leading towards the same game plan, which is going to be destroying your opponent's board and swinging over them with a bunch of creatures. 5-color is where you get some of the most interesting decks. These tend to, except for very rare circumstances, be what are known mostly as a tribal deck. Aside from a few notable examples over the last couple of years, a 5-color deck is going to not be so much a larger strategy. It's going to be, I found a creature type I really like that's in all 5 colors, and I'm going to play it. This can be slivers. This can be birds. This can be humans are a very good example that come in all 5 colors. 0 mana colors, on the other hand, are a creature type known as Eldrazi. These are not creatures that exist on the plains. These literally exist between the plains and are functionally made of raw mana and tend to warp the field whenever they're around. They have strange effects, such as the card Thought Knot Seer, which can rip cards out of your opponent's hands and prevent them from using it. Or strange cards such as Inverter of Truth, which just makes you remove your deck from the game. Now, these are only very basic overviews of. We're not. She gone. She gone. We're not talking about her. Um, or take an extra turn yourself. Or whenever they attacked, your opponent had to blow up half their field before they were allowed to respond. Now, these are only basic overviews of Magic the Gathering as a whole. These are what I hope are just very minor looks into the colors. These have many years, again, 30 years worth of flavor built into them. They have 30 years worth of design that goes into what they want to do, what they can do, what they can't do. Now, this isn't to say that things are very stringent. Over the years, there have been what are known as color pie breaks. You have cards that either intentionally or unintentionally do things that are outside their colors. Intentionally, there was even a set about that called Planar Chaos. The whole idea being they printed cards in one color but had the effects of a different color. It was more to represent the idea that mana in itself was going crazy as an end of the world scenario got closer to hand. If you ever get into Magic, which I hope you do, it's the best game ever created. I do hope this presentation can help you at least somewhat decide which colors do I want to play? Which colors do I want to maybe try and put together? What strategy do I want to look at? Did at some point you hear, hey, I can control the board with this? I want to play like that. Or I hope someone can look at this and say, oh, red is where I find goblins? Okay, I want to play red. I want to play goblins. And before we wrap up here, we have about 15 minutes left. I do want to know if anyone here in the audience has any questions about the colors. If anyone has questions about how they work within the game or anything like that.
Sir, I have a
Yes.
question, sir.
Yes, Invisibrony.
I missed everything after I'm Combo Breaker. Could you start over?
Absolutely. Now, as I was saying.
No, anybody got any questions for Combo? Just type them in the chat there. If you don't know how to look at the chat.
I am looking.
Yeah, if you don't know where the chat is, there's a little chat button top right, I believe.
Crazy Matt asks if Discord is a Simic creation. I would say Discord is all 5 colors.
Wait, where are you seeing that?
It's in the main stage chat.
I see it now, yeah.
Yeah, I would say Discord would definitely be all 5 colors. He's just chaotic enough that and can do whatever he wants that he would definitely be using all 5 colors to do many things. I mean, we've seen him bring inanimate objects to life. And we've seen him summon stuff out of nowhere. Those are...
I'm fairly sure there's a card in Magic that's very similar looking to Discord and it's 5 colors. I'm trying to remember what it is. Shade Hunter is typing. Oh, yeah. Ponies the Galloping.
We could talk about Ponies the Galloping. Invisibrony, do you happen to have the images of the ponies, the galloping on hand?
I do not. I thought we were talking about the Extra Life charity cards. Although I could show those off real quick, actually. Hold on, let me
Yeah,
switch.
those are ponies galloping.
Oh, okay. Well, oh yeah. Hold on one second then. One moment.
If you want to go ahead and throw those into chat, or
Oh, I'm streaming right now.
yeah, if you want to put it up there.
If Discord would let me, there we go.
Let me go ahead and look at this real quick.
All right, change the
Yeah,
feed
if you
over.
wanna...
So yeah, I'm just going to show you the card backs here. I had a Magic open, so that's at least half of them. So I have them digitally, but you can get the physical ones, and I'm going to grab the Ponies the Galloping site there too, real quick. For the other ones.
While he's grabbing that up, does anyone have any other questions? You know, if you want me to talk a little bit more in depth about certain color combinations, or what a color can and can't do, if there are any questions about how you want to play, and I can give you some pointers on what color combinations to look at.
Yeah. And I like playing in all of the negative spaces, you can see by this deck.
Yes, they play what are called artifacts, which tend to not have a color, but that's because they're more relics. They're tools to be used. They don't tend to have an alignment.
Yeah, here we go. So, the four that came out in the previous set, we got Nightmare Moon, Luna, Rarity, and Twilight. So that's the card backings. Basically, it's a card sleeve. And there were 4 cards in this set were right here. Hold on, there's Ponies the Galloping. Well, that's the wiki. I want the images. Oop, there we go. That's them. One of them. So yeah, we got Rarity, Nightmare Moon, and Twilight in the previous set. The new ones coming out are gonna be there. They are.
Do the rest of the main 6.
Yeah, I'm just gonna switch my feed over. Sorry guys. One sec. Share my screen. Change windows. Cool. There it is. Whoop. So this was the first set. Open that up real quick. Oh goddamn. There we go.
Yes,
Yeah.
and you can very much see that on this, Nightmare Moon is mono black, which does represent her ambition, her drive, and her willing to sacrifice everything for her goals, as well as being flavorful in the idea of her being night, very much mono black. Whereas you have Twilight and Rarity being blue white, also is very good in showing that they are ponies that are more about order. Twilight's very studious. She's very much a princess. She's about, you know, staying very specifically aligned to her ideals.
Rarity likes artifacts.
Rarity is a dressmaker. She has to follow very specific rules about how to make a dress. So even in the charity event sets, they do take in mind what is the what is the flavor, what is the design space for these characters.
Yeah, and now they did bring out the new ones, and you actually, I'll tell you what Twilight's ability is after we show the new ones, but you couldn't use her ability before. Not that you could technically really do it in tournament play or something, but if you ever did use these cards.
I saw someone use it by using the blank name creature from Unhinged that lets you choose its name.
Oh no.
They use that in a bunch of clone effects to get the other characters.
Well, to be fair, Unhinged is not technically tournament legal either. Unless you're playing an Unhinged tournament.
That was the thing. It was an Unhinged commander deck.
Yeah, where the heck are the... There we go. Here's the new ones. Jesus, it's hard to find that.
We have Fluttershy, Applejack, Pinkie Pie, and Rainbow Dash. Now you have Fluttershy and Applejack, white and green. They're very much more on the nature side of things. Applejack, you know, is a farmer, harvests the land, whereas Fluttershy is a animal caretaker. Those both very much represent white-green. Just very much showing that there are multiple facets within these color combinations of what you can do with it. Pinkie Pie being white-red is much more of a free spirit, much more on the chaos, but still on the side of good kind of thing. Doing what they want. Rainbow Dash, on the other hand, very much exemplifies mostly red. They are the definition of a free spirit. They are determined. They are strong. And the white mana really does temper out the ideals of doing what you want when you want. But white really does pull it into...
I don't think that's the right one.
No, that is a good fake though.
Yeah,
It's a
I was like,
decent fake though, and it got the colors and the mana cost right.
yeah.
I think it even
I think
it
they might
almost
just
got
use
the
the Rainbow
power
Dash
and toughness
card.
right too.
Anyway.
Um,
Oh, there's another
I
one
would
down here.
I will happily say that everyone here should get the Ponies the Galloping Extra Life Super Drop. All proceeds from that are going to charity, so definitely pick those up.
Hipsters of the Coast. What now? Oh, well, anyways, enough of that screen. Let me switch back.
Now we've seen that. Is there any other questions? Any other comments? Anything you want to know? Anything I didn't cover that you think I should cover?
What has happened?
The floor is open to questions.
Why is my screen share not changing? Grant access, yes. Oh, whatever. I'm just going to stop it anyways. Whoop. There we go.
Crazy Matt's typing.
Yeah, I think about my last question because we got SPC Rye coming up in a moment.
Yep. This will be the last question.
I'm glad we went 10 minutes late. That actually worked out well with your presentation. Just like perfect timing.
Yeah, right. Best MTG character and why is it Squee? Squee is cool. It is a shame what happened to him in the lore. Semi rest in peace, the boy.
He always comes back.
Well, the thing that made him come back, which was Volrath separating his soul from his body, that spell was broken by Sarah after Squee got completed.
Oops.
And Sarah was like, I can bring you back and undo the completion, but it's also going to put your soul back in your body. And if you die for good now. And he's like, that's fine. And then he self-destructed.
Nope, I'm out.
If I had to say what's my favorite MTG character, my favorite MTG character is probably the Sliver Queen. I love slivers.
Cascade.
Well, Sliver Queen's just the one that makes sliver tokens for 2 generic.
Oh, I'm thinking of the first sliver.
Yeah, first Sliver's fine. He doesn't have a characterization, though. Sliver Queen was the focus of a book.
I don't think I read
But
that one.
does wrap up our time here. If you do have any questions after the panel, any comments about my presentation, things you think I did good, things you think I should do again, if you just want to DM me and tell me that I should never open my face ever again about anything, you can always message me. My DMs are always open.
He prefers it if you approach him randomly in the street and just scream in his face.
True.
All right, thank
But
you.
I do want to thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, thank you very much for doing that. That's awesome. I love Magic myself, as I said, and yeah, if you'd like to play it and you don't want to spend any money on it, you can get Magic: The Gathering Arena. It's not exactly the same as Paper Magic, but it kind of is too. You can get free cards just by completing daily quests and blah blah blah. Anyways, yeah, I play a lot, and you get actually pretty good rewards every day just for doing a lot of basic crap. Anyways, next up we got Mr. Rye. Come on stage if you dare or can. I'm going to invite you this time. I figured it out. Oh, no, this lied to me. Why is it not showing your name when I search in the thing? There you are. Invite sent, sir. So, what Rye's going to be doing, I'll explain it until they get up here, is something that not a lot of conventions do. In fact, I can't even think of one specifically. I know Brownie Buck probably did one at some convention because he does lots of exercise stuff. But yeah, a little bit of exercise. Nothing too drastic. Just get yourself out of your chairs and stretch and make sure we all don't get deep vein thrombosis sitting around watching cartoons all day. Rye, did you figure it out yet? Did you just get back from the bathroom? What's going on? Get on stage, bro. Can I drag you on stage? I sent you an invite. Did it not show up? It should have like popped up a little button at the top right, or like a hand or something. I'll send it again. Invite sent. Maybe it's in your DMs. I don't know how that link thing or the invite thing works. But Combo, how did you do it? Gosh darn Discordians. I don't know if I can, but I will try.
For Combo, he clicked the request to speak thing.
Use Vic's first defense.
Yeah, do you see something that says request to speak? Oh, there it is. Yes.
There we go. You click the invite to speak, and he gets pulled on stage.
Hooray!
Right. Bet. How am I heard?
You could be a tiny bit... No, wait, hold on. My headphones are down. You're fine.
Oh, am I? Okay.
I mean, for me.
I have a bit of an echo in here.
That's all good.
Hi.
So,
early mornings are great.
and I'm going to be streaming the music for it because, that's just how this is going to work out. So, did we actually end up deciding specifically on a song, or am I just going to randomly pick something and make you do this to Lamb Chops, the song that never ends?
I sent you a playlist, didn't I?
You did. I'm just trying to look it up right now.
Well, we can take a moment to enjoy the background I've so graciously put together.
Wait. Oh. There it is, yes. Let's get exercise. I'm going to have to move my chair and stuff.
Let's set this up here.
All right, I have your playlist ready. Oh. Good choices, man. I forgot what you put in this list. I looked at it the other night and then forgot the entire thing. Just let me know when you are ready to go, and I will mute my mic. And I should probably get the stream for the music going real quick there.
Yeah, I'm pretty much ready. I just need to make sure that I can be seen. Sweet, let's go.
I would, but for some reason, and I don't know why, even though I could do it just moments ago, it won't let me click the share my screen button now.
Technical difficulties.
Indeed. 1 second. I'm just going to disconnect my one. Did that do it?
How's everyone's day? Everyone all limbered up, I hope. Brought some water to the stream. While we're waiting, I'm going to explain what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a series of basic exercises, and I'll set them up in 3 categories. I'll show how to do an easy version, a normal version, and a harder version. If it's too easy or too hard, you can adjust.
All right, I got it. I don't know why, but I had to just stream another thing and then switch the window over to the window. What the hell, Discord? Why? I don't understand. Anyways, I'm going to shut my mic off and turn the music up whenever you say... Actually, let's see if you can actually hear it first. Make sure it's working.
I hear nothing. There we go.
So you can... All right, we can hear it now?
Yep.
All right, should I just leave it playing?
Yep.
Oh, they should have just sent the whiskey when they saw the trouble coming.
I thought something slow and easy going.
Then they wouldn't
Start stretching too. So,
the times are tough.
we're going first to start with some stretches. And
when you see the trouble come,
break the dust off us.
better just send the whiskey.
Over the shoulder. Bring your arm across. Up. You want to grab at the elbow, so you're not just bending your arm. You want to stretch your shoulder joints. 30 seconds, give or take.
So get it done, and don't forget the whiskey.
Legs.
Oh, you should have just sent the whiskey when you
Down
heard
as low as you
the troubles
can.
coming. Oh, you should have just sent the whiskey. Then
You want to stretch your hams and your calves.
Now, if vodka grows in wintry snows that make you cold and shivery. But the ice about just feel right.
You really never want to do a workout without warming up first. I find it doesn't do too well.
Oh, we should have just sent the whiskey.
This one
when
is
you knew
interesting.
that I was coming.
Gotta see
Oh,
here.
we should have just sent the whiskey when I
Stretch the ankles and calves.
Then times are rough and things are bad.
You have to.
But you don't get sad and
Hold,
weepy.
post yourself on the ground like you're about to go for a football charge.
Whiskey.
Setting up on a line. Lift your calves up. Do a couple times. All right. This should be fun.
I'm going to save you.
Here we go.
Save the noble jury.
The start was
and
using
save
simple,
every
slow
celestial
hops.
forsaken pony on this miserable continent. And if your narrow mind
Your
finds
arms
it too
swing.
friggin' hard to believe, then that's a pitiful way to live. After all, I once found myself in a
Deep
place
breaths.
where I couldn't even save myself, and even still I need it. Miracles are miracles. I don't care
Alright.
how much they smell of crap.
And
I think
on
you've been
three,
too
we're going to do
busy
high
so long
knees.
trying to make awesome things happen that you've forgotten what it means
1,
to be them.
2,
So if you want to help
and
out,
3.
watch, learn.
Just bring up your knees to your chest as far as you can go.
Harken to the days when
Get
a
the heart
heart became a
pumping.
cage, starving in a rage for the harmony of angels.
Bring
Started
your
down
arms like
stage,
you're running.
flying through the whole world for the armory of ages. Pilots on deck and bells sound in sequence. It's a black track with the mad dead secrets. Tracks set aflame like Foxtar with
Back
Enix.
to the
Crap,
decent
was it
music.
Phoenix? Hold up, let me fact check. Heart like cold metal, start and don't settle. Hard martyr marked in a marvelous bold vessel, a tenfold rebel. Haunted by old freckles, life's a flower and the memories are gold petals. Crew making signs for the shrine, sometimes gotta stipulate grind for the shine. And they might wanna vindicate crimes when they flies. Fines ought to stimulate minds out of time, but divines gotta tribulate. Call a war rehearsal, traverse worse hurdles to restore the circle. When they said he's trained for life, they didn't say it wrong, but it'll blow up before we ever let the haters on. Melon fudges never budging past blue shelf, big show fell and bludgeon. Cats
all
himself.
basically improv.
Now she dealing with the gale and the torque. Where rainbow goes, we're on her tail like Rourke. The blatant chosen rage and motion monster. Rainbow roguish ancient ocean crosser.
everyone's
A
having a
changeling
good day.
cope and fateful omen stopper. Terrate explosion takes an open roster. Ever fruitier names and lost languages, announcing to her crew all the aims that
Online.
crossed anguished lips. Listening to the flames
Or
that
in
rock
person.
sacred
You wanna
ships.
have
Post choke nothing
good
lame as
endurance,
frost vanquished. Heart
this.
like cold metal, start and
Good
don't
blood
settle.
flow.
Part martyr marked in the marvelous
Stay
bold
strong and
vessel.
healthy.
Tenfold rebel, haunted
Heart
by
burn.
old freckles. Life's a
Abandoned to
flower
live.
and the memories are gold
No one's
petals.
healthy enough to
Crew
live.
making signs for the shrine. Sometimes gotta stipulate grind for the shine. And they might wanna vindicate crimes when they
Breath.
flies, but their
It's
fines
water.
ought to stimulate minds out of time, but divines gotta tribulate.
Hydrate or
Drops
dihydrate.
his aid, school Sarah so hard that she dropped a grade. Quaid, yellow eyes
All right.
glimmer flicker restless, but she's gonna rise above the glimmer shimmer. Yes, yes.
Now.
Now she running with the
Unrip those
desperados,
legs.
gunning for the money with the best bravado. Misty Mountain
Wasn't
climbing with
pretty
the
easy.
chest staccato.
Just bend it.
Finna leave a continent of mess Farrago.
Those
Heckin'
knees.
thundering,
Thighs
legend
should parallel
wondering
to the
whether
mark
the
of
riddle
surface,
suffer
the
out a
ground.
second sundering.
I
Jury and the
agree.
ninthers out keeping the flame, writing words and taking
Put your
shots
arms out
like
and
Ian
balance
in
yourself.
Maine. Almost got signed to
That's too
Nightshade,
easy
didn't
for
sell
you.
out. They couldn't find the blight made mayor
One
unless they
leg
shelled
out.
out. She made it 8 books and
Pistol
there's more
squat.
left to talk about. 32 bars and a hook. Knock 'em
You
out.
know, just if that's too hard, you can rest it on your heel. Just bring your foot down a little bit, rest on the heel. Oh, whew, air. I need that. Rest on the heel, and you come down. Put your arms out for balance. All right. Now. Hey, you just dance. All right. One, two, three, one, two, three, two, one, two, three, three, one, two, three, four. Three, six, one, two, three, seven,
Body thinks about the motive to another one's move.
1, 2, 3.
Face value is its head still. You don't know the truth. And even then, I was still so scared. Maybe I'm just that dumb.
This counts for one.
I remember when they
I only know how to
all
count to 4.
stared, feeling like on the run.
That's like top of
Gotta find a way out of
You're never
here.
get. I reckon
'Cause we
look
keep
it up.
crashing, crashing,
Hilarious.
crashing, crashing. 'Cause we're in a rush now, baby. Let's get from the start.
Well,
And I just can't go back to that. 'Cause I'm feeling alive, feeling alive. 'Cause we're in a rush now, baby. And we're doing fine.
dude, if you don't feel the burn already, you're a monster. I don't know anybody who after this many don't feel something in their legs.
So many moments falling for safety. Still you
4,
hear me cry.
5,
And I was always
6,
everywhere. In the
7,
world and in my mind.
8,
With hearts as strong as
9,
horses. We
30.
stare in the distance.
Alright.
We've gotta
Feeling
find
good
a
there.
way out of
60 is
here.
enough.
'Cause we keep crashing, crashing,
Get a sweat going.
'Cause we're in a rush now, baby. Let's get
Some
from
water.
and I just can't go back to that. 'Cause I'm feeling alive, feeling alive. 'Cause we're in a rush now, baby. And we're doing fine. And we're doing
Alright.
fine. And we're doing
Now we're gonna do something called a motivator.
Yeah, we're doing fine.
Nothing you're motivated if you ask me. But good for the legs. Especially. I just hope that none of you got downstairs neighbors. Someone? Cat phrases. Just get up on your toes. Real simple like. Down. Down. 1. Go to 10.
Gotta find a way out of here.
Then,
We keep crashing, 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 crashing.
10 up.
Let's get from the start.
Then, I'm elevating. Put your legs apart. And then knees a little bit. Then, from the 10 of those, get on to the motion. Yeah. 10 of those. Go back down. They're pretty easy to do. Anywhere, really. You can be in the grocery store. You look like a weirdo, but you can do it in the grocery store even. Cat phrases you can do anywhere as well. Can't get any easier than that, really. All you do is go on your toes. You can do this nonchalantly and blind to the bank. Then we'll go back up for the motivators. Move back up. We'll do 3 of these. That. You did 1. I hate doing these after runs, but boy, you really feel it in your legs. Doing these exercises can be a good way to prepare yourself for any scenario that requires physical effort. Now, like going up the stairs, down the stairs, opening doors. Or saving your family from a burning car. You know, simple stuff. Be able to run fast. And run for long distances. You don't realize how difficult it is to move your body around for long periods of time until you do it. Simply walking can be a tiring exercise. Do it for 2-3 miles. Not feeling it. Start walking with weight on your back, it gets that much harder. On a third set, you really start feeling it in your calves, especially. Yeah. I'm sorry you toes. I wonder if Pinky does it all the fucking time. Oh, is cursing allowed in this, Ronnie? Is that a thing Because surprisingly, or at least to my surprise, not many people can do very many push-ups, let alone the amount soldiers have done, or have to do. But it doesn't take much to improve. Even just doing one push-up, and just keep doing that one push-up is enough to improve marginally. A lot better than just sitting around doing nothing, at least. So, this is what the easy push-up would look like. You know, come down, up, that's it. Feet on the ground for easy contact, less weight. A marginally more difficult, normal push-up. Down, up. We're gonna work the triceps and chest. So these muscles and of course your chest, while keeping your elbows close to your side when you push. And then I'm not gonna demonstrate the one-arm push-up. No. Just figure it out. That's all I can say. Diamond push-ups. Your hands together. Like a diamond. Might as well a diamond push-up. If you want to give this one an attempt, go ahead. Down, up. Easy as can be. Undo. Feel them. Alright. Everyone ready for the push-ups? Thank you. That is a great description. Okay. Ready! Well, I'll try to do these in cadence. So, try to stick with the numbers. Do a quick demonstration. In cadence. All together now. 1, 2, 3, 1. Alright. Ready. In cadence. Exercise. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 2. 1, 2, 3, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 5. 1, 2, 3, 6. 1, 2, 3, 7. 1, 2, 3, 8. 1, 2, 3, 9. 1, 2, 3, 10. All right. If you kept up so far, count to 10. For each 4 count, 2 push-ups. So, we did 20. Let's see if the 4 count does a really good job of making things seem easier. Let's trick your brain. All right. You know, enough for another set of push-ups? Nah. Hope so. We're going to do a smaller amount. Go incrementally lower. Incrementally. That's a funny word. I don't know why I decided to use it. Catch my breath. Alright. Ready? And cadence. Exercise. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 2. 1, 2, 3, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we'll pump out one more. One, 2, 3, 5. There we go. We can only do one more. Whew. At this point, if you're not in physical shape, or even if you are, really, you should be sweating a good amount. Thank you for the commentary. Water, really. When it's hot days, when you do drink ice cold water, it is good for you. In fact, really good for you. You just don't chug it, because if you drop your core temperature rapidly in a short period of time, you can risk going into shock. Also, don't drink heavy amounts of liquor before a workout. Not good for you. After you throw up, you feel rather good though. Even drinking the night prior is still not good for you. I'm suffering that cause right now. We try not to. Military bronies. Yes. I'm gonna be right back. So, I'm gonna take a breather and drink water.
Also, I like the axe in the background there, and the gun. Like I said, I think it's hard to see exactly what it is. I like the stock though. It looks like it's got a brass, or it's just really shiny. I can't tell. Is that an M1? No, that's not an M1. Jeez. The Garand? No, it's not a Garand. It's too blurry and small. I don't know enough about guns. It's definitely a rifle. I know that. I know that much. Come on, people. Let's take guesses on what type of model that is. Somebody, the engineer probably knows. Saturn. Oh, can't you engineer an answer? Yeah, you can probably build it or put it to take it apart, but you have no idea what it is. Goddamn engineers. They just like building stuff. They don't know what they're doing. They're just like, oh, let's put this and that together, and ooh, look what happened. That's
on the net.
and that's how bridges were born.
Bridges,
Hold on, we were talking about your rifle there. What kind of rifle is that?
it's
I was just curious about the model.
In 30-30.
It's a 30-aught. Okay.
I still 30-30.
I will say this: let's not have a shooting the roof stream, please.
Oh, you pop? I do desk pop.
No desk pops, please. No desk pops. There we go. Chamber cleared.
Safety first. Always make sure your weapon is clear before operating it. Any amount.
Yes.
Alright. Everyone got the breath?
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, you can ask me a question.
I'm done. I just wanted to say that. You have an axe behind you.
Yeah. There's always an answer to violence, which is more violence. Correct.
Or an axe.
The victory always goes to the person that wreaks the most violence. The fastest.
Indeed. So... What's this coming up? Days go by. Alright, soldier, I think it's time for you to hop too. You got 10 minutes left to do.
I kill enough time. Woo. Gonna do my favorite exercise. Flutter kicks. These really easy. You put your hands on the small of your back. Well, elevate your feet 6 inches off the ground and maintain the elevation. And then you just swim backwards. Do a 4 count. Alright, this works the core. Hey! 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 2. 1, 2, 3, 3. Alright. It doesn't look like a lot, but you do this long enough, and you really do feel it. A lot. Real easy, quiet. Doesn't require much effort. Let's see, do it for 30 minutes. You want to try to do this for anywhere between 1 and 2 minutes. You start really feeling it. Rest position. This is the flutter kick. Supine rest position. So if you're tired, don't let your feet touch the ground. Just lift them up in the air. Elevate. If you want to make it harder, move your hands, flatten your back, put your hands above you. So it's all core.
This is also being streamed on the Brony Kindness Twitch, so if you did want to watch it back later for catching these tips again, we'll have the VOD available there and on our YouTube eventually. You want to post that link, Scrimmy, if you're there? If not, I'll do it.
Oh, awesome. I didn't realize it was streaming on a larger platform.
Yep, I'm streaming this right to Twitch.
Hi, Twitch. I'm like sweating on the street thing. Alright. 1, time and halt. Woo! As you can tell, if you haven't already, I'm not the most physically in shape person, but I was more than happy to show that anyone can do a proper workout. All they need is a little dedication and some knowledge.
Yes. No, that was great. Am I talking? I am talking, right? Yes. So I'm making sure that both my microphones, yes, they're both unmuted. Okay. So yeah, no, that was fantastic. And again, I don't recall. I mean, I'm sure there has been one because I know Bronny Bucks attended a convention, and I know he's a big exercise fan, so he's probably done one somewhere. But I can't remember a single exercise panel at any convention, never mind an online one. And I think that even there, that would be the more important one, because at least at an in-person convention, generally you're getting your exercise by doing laps of the hotel. So at least you're walking a lot. But yeah, sitting in a chair all day at an online convention, it's nice to have a few moments for like a get up and out and stretch bit. And even still, every 10 to 15 minutes, you should be getting up and stretching.
Definitely.
Just for the sake of your back.
Now is a good time to do some stretches. We did a lower body and core workout for the most part, minus the push-ups, which is all body. Another reason why we shouldn't drink before a workout is because it dehydrates your muscles as well.
Specifically alcohol. Do drink water.
Drink lots of water, especially before and after a workout. Drinking during is not necessarily all that important unless you're dehydrated, like I am.
And you should eat lots of lasagna and Alfredo as you go, right? Carbs.
That is not necessarily true.
And also another good way to probably throw up during your workout.
Yes. Eating heavy carbs before a workout is that. Now, what me and my buddies like to call carb dumping is before a ruck march or a particularly strenuous workout. You overload on carbs the night prior, so you have a surplus of stuff for your body to burn through, so you're not wearing out so quickly and have lots of energy. You can go on a 3-hour-long 12-mile ruck march and still maintain body function afterwards, if you can call that body function.
True. And a ruck march, for those who don't know, is you're walking, 12 miles with basically with a person on your back.
Stretching before and after a workout is very important. It helps your muscles relax, and it breaks up any built-up acids in your body.
Yeah,
so you're not super sore.
Yeah, we are lactic intolerant.
Yes, that's true. Now for this one, you want to sit back straight, legs straight and flat. This will stretch your back and your legs. So just lean forward, try to keep your back as straight as possible, and grab as far as you can. If you can only go this far, that's okay. If you can touch your elbows to your toes, I'm impressed. You just take a deep breath, let it all out. Yes. I've seen some very flexible people in my life. And believe it or not, that's not the strangest thing I've seen someone do. And we'll hold this for about anywhere between 15 and 30 seconds. You just feel your muscles slowly stretch, and as they stretch, if you want to, put a little more into it to help you increase your flexibility, take another deep breath, and just empty your lungs. And then, as you do so, you pull yourself further. And you can achieve some pretty impressive stretching. And when you release, you don't want to release right away and sit up fast. You want to slowly Pull yourself back up. Whew. Alright. Now, fold one leg in. We'll put your heel to the inner part of your thigh. Keep your knees flat to the ground. And lean forward. You should feel it in the underside of your leg, your calves, your thighs. You should also feel it right here at the top of your thigh as you stretch. You want to try to keep your knee to the ground. Another 15 to 30 seconds. And we switch. Again, knee to the ground, heel to groin. Yeah.
Yeah, some people going crazy over PWE, Prince whatever, but is it really worth it? It
I
is.
should have put that
100%.
one earlier in the videos. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, this is much of a stretching song as everybody stretch aggressively. Please do not stretch aggressively. Stretch very calmly.
Alright.
That's too funny.
Next. You wanna sit? Now, flat, back straight. You wanna reach over. Get your back. You wanna twist at the hip and the back. Well, don't twist at the hip. Keep your hips straight. Twist your core and your back. So it's basically just turning your chest as far as it'll go.
And when you hear the snap, you've gone far enough.
When you hear the tap and pop in your back, you haven't gone far enough. You want to go until you're touching your other stuff. It's good for your health.
We call this one the owl.
It's the owl stretch. The next one is real simple. You want to grab the back of your head and your jaw and just turn your head around. Really good for the neck muscles.
Look, that's the wrong kind of exercise.
I just like you did it. You same thing on the other side. Keep your hips straight and just turn your chest. As far as it'll go, you reach. Feel it in your chest and your core. Next one's really easy. We'll do another back stretch. You're gonna lay on your back. And that's it. It's a really good one. Alright, for real though. You'll bring your leg up 90 degrees. And you want to keep doing the opposite of the earlier one. You want to try to keep your shoulders to the ground as you throw your leg over. Slow. I think it's called the scorpion. I'm not entirely sure. I don't remember too well. Other leg. Do the same. Your shoulders to the ground. This one you might hear some cracking in your back as well. But you should feel the stretch, your muscles being pulled here, down your gluteus maximus, into your leg, your thigh. It's a nice good thigh stretch. Oh. Next one, you're going to be on your stomach for this one. You want to get in this position like you're about to do a push-up, and just push your upper body up while keeping your hips planted to the ground. You want to stretch out as far as you can go, like a cobra.
You feel it in your core and your stomach. And back down. Next one, we do the opposite. Instead of pushing up your chest, we're going to get into a push-up position. And we'll arch. You want your heel, you want to try and touch your heels to the ground while you're doing this.
Mm-hmm. And also, I'm taking over your playlist for a minute because I saw you have L Train on here, but not the best L Train. Also, this is, I think, be part of at least a nice stretching song. So let's go. Magic Duel.
I was looking at that. I thought about putting that on the playlist.
I think it's a good cool down song. It's got nice slow start, slow end. But the middle's a bit frantic.
Next, we're going to put our feet together and try to push our knees down. Like almost feeling like a monk's sitting position. You feel it right here, and in your groin and your thighs. I'm gonna try to push it down as far as it'll go. If you feel pop in your thighs or your hips, correction, if you hear a popping sound in your hips and severe pain, you have stretched too far and now your hips dislocated. Please don't dislocate your hips. Now, go back to stretching. A little bit there. And now, we're all stretched out. Time to drink some water and rest. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability.
And I have turned the music down a bit. But yes, this will be the ending part because yes, we are. I'm sure very tired and very thankful for the exercise we have been given today. Even if most of it was probably done by you, we all benefited at least a little bit from that.
I hope there's at least one person in the chat that's sweating from watching.
I did as much as I could, but I'm running like 3 monitors in the stream, so I was basically just like literally standing up and stretching and doing fake martial arts without hitting my monitors. Like just slow sweeping movements that stretch all the muscles. Actually, that's
simple.
Sorry, tell me if this is. I actually want to start a dojo called Fake Martial Arts. People who come there, they're not coming there to learn to fight. They're coming to do things that just, there's just stupid stretches. But basically, it's an adult playroom to think you're cool, but you're just getting exercise and doing like fake martial arts, and we call it fake martial arts. And just like
please leave joke. Just mess around.
Oh yeah, well we take it very seriously in terms of like, yes, here's the today's kata. It's not a fighting pattern. It's just a bunch of movements that make you stretch all the muscles in your body. It's good for you. It's just adult playtime, and a lot of people that I think don't exercise as adults, it's because it's not fun. And if you can make it fun for them, they'll do it. So you just got to find, the niche for that particular group of people, give them an outlet to exercise, and there you go. I think that's a very, also TM patent, you can't steal my idea. It's on stream, I have it recorded. I get royalties if you make one of these gyms. Anyway. Oh yeah, 2 torn ligaments. Oh, that's never fun.
No, it's rough. You can still do a lot of movements, right? If you can move at all, it's still good for you.
Yeah, movement is
No.
always good. Also, you froze. Your camera froze.
Simple movements is surprisingly well, strenuous when you're doing a lot of it for long periods of time. Walking, moving a light object, even. If for anyone who's drawn for several hours at a time, know that their arm and wrist
Oh.
tend to still burn.
Hey, you're back. Hey, you had your first technical glitch of the entire stream, and it was after it was done. That is fantastic. Your camera cut out once in the entire. It was after it was over. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm surprised it didn't cut out more.
Yeah, you're running this on what, the Potato 360 or something?
An Acer from like 2007.
So yeah, a potato. Hey, well,
Yes, potato would have processing power to my
your potato computer or potato cam have done very well.
Surprisingly.
Anyways, thank you very much, Rye, for coming out. We're going to get to the opening ceremonies very quickly. And when I say opening ceremonies, that is an extremely grandiose term for a very disappointing thing that's about to happen. It's more of just what we're doing today. It's an explanation of what's going on. So please stick around for that. That'll be coming up in a moment. And if you want to check it out on our Twitch, like I said, the links are in the description if you wanted to look it up later or just see what the whole effect looks like, because I've got a little VR chat window thing going as I showed. Anyways, thank you, Rye, for coming, and get the hell off my stage.
Anytime.
Boot, get back to something about your bunk, and it's out of order. I don't know. All right, so I'm going to try and get this into Discord now. I should be able to... Wait, how the best way to do this would be... Oh, I know. I'm going to try this. Switch screen. I'm going to let you see behind the scenes. You can see the Streamlabs window, and we'll go infinite stream window. Can I make that a bit bigger? Yes, I can. There we go. That's a bit bigger. So yeah, as you can see there, but every time I click off Discord, it's going to cut the stream out, so that's not cool. Hey, there we go. So yeah, opening ceremonies right now. It is not going to be super, like, filled with events and guest stars and blah, blah, blah. We're just going to kind of go over what we're doing here today, and obviously so far we've watched some cartoons. We learned about a game that at least I and Combo definitely like. I hope the rest of you weren't just sitting there going, when is this over? Then we got some exercise done, and basically what we're doing today is kind of what our cares guide is about. For those of you who don't know, my name is Invisibrony, my co-founder Scrimmy, and the one basically responsible for the Brony Kindness Network existing. We put together a cares guide, which is basically sort of a thing to help you take care of yourself after conventions. And apparently September has a lot of pony conventions, and I kind of thought I was going to do a full weekend, but in the end, just kind of a one-day post-convention depression chill day to kind of take the sting out of all that, you know, for people who've been to conventions, or even people who couldn't go to a convention or missed the PoniesOnline or other events. This is just kind of a something for the people who missed out or just want to relive it. So anyways, that's what we're doing here today, and I would like to show you all the cares guide itself. In fact, I closed the wrong window when I was switching the music over. I had this set up to go, but I can still fix that real quick. There we go. I was just going to show you what the cares guide is and what our network is about, and also why we're doing this today. So let's switch the window to that screen. If you would please oblige me, Discord, and not technically screw me like earlier. Good. Okay, so yes, the Brony Kindness Network with our mascot Murphy, team mascot, developed and by Flixanoa, or Fef as they are known. I will go to the artist page for all the credit later, but very little cute pony. And also the Breezy, from, like, they stole our character design, did they not, Scrimmy? Come on, tell me that wasn't Murphy as a Breezy with green hooves.
Totally.
Anyway. We'll worry about the lawsuit later. So the CARES guide was just sort of an initiative of basically somebody proposed an idea of why doesn't something like this exist in the BabsCon. They were their con store lead, I think now. And yeah, they just hadn't. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Why isn't that an idea? And so I actually wrote a little story, and then Scrimmy gave me money to hire artists, and I did. And we hired lots of cool artists like Amy New, Red Palette, Ethereal Sol. We'll go to the artist page at the end. I won't go. There it is, actually, right there. I'll go there first. Torsen, Ethereal Sol, Sonia Redis, at Amy New Blue, at Bfields Forever, Red Palette Art, Brogar Arts, Caesar Light, and the great Yarrow, who did the cover. Not to mention Baker Cartoons from Facebook, who did the Murphy with the crutch here. And they actually did draw the curtains as well. I had hired them to do this for the cover art, but when I saw it, I'm like, that is just such a perfect artist index page. It was so cute with the crutch and everything. This popped into my head, so that's what happened. Anyway. So yeah, it's a nice little guide, which is available free, online, 100% HD. If you want to download it, go ahead. That's entirely why it's there. If you'd like to print out your own copy to keep, that is also cool. Just please do not sell it. Don't start printing them and selling them. That's our job. Also, if you'd like to buy a copy from us to help us out, it is available on our store on the website, broniekindness.net.
And it will also be available at UK PonyCon. We'll have a couple of guides for those interested.
Yes, among hollow stickers and other stickers and t-shirts and prints. And also thanks again to Pony Rail Artists. Go, please support them. They did this for us, which they're allowing us to sell. Is this the one we're selling? This is the one we're selling, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's our t-shirt design.
And so basically, yeah, if you go, and we also have a bonfire store, or go to our shop, you can buy shirts there, which we will help support us and the artists that we are supporting. Blah blah blah. Anyway. And speaking of some of the artists, here are their links. Baja Griffin is very important to our organization. There's Fef, who did the design for our characters, and then here's all the artists, or a lot of them from the guide, and a few others who did donation art for us as well. So you can go on our website and check that out, and there's the shop right there. Let's pop in there just quick so you can see it. So yeah, there's the CARES guide. It's £40, shipped to you in a nice protective envelope. And there's the Murphy Realty. That's the T right there. That's what I wanted to show you. So yeah, nice. We're doing black, aren't we?
Yep.
Yeah, I think it makes it pop nicely. I think the purple on purple might have been like too wishy-washy looking.
I think I actually have one of the purple ones, and they actually look fine.
Are they like dark purple?
Yeah.
Okay, that's probably why.
It depends on the color. There is some colors where it doesn't look as good. Like certain shades of blue will make it wash out Murphy or the globe. Like blue is like the biggest problem, as well as like yellow. I think it looks pretty bad on yellow.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of yellow anything other than like bananas.
Yeah, thankfully designed. You can actually see the purple example on that page.
Oh yeah, right there. Yeah, see, I mean, it doesn't look as bad as I was thinking, but again, I think it's too much purple for me personally. Like, that's a personal taste thing. I would rather have the black and like, oh look, there's the pony, rather than where's that? Oh, there's a pony hiding in the purple behind the. Anyway. it still does look
buy
nice.
our merch panel.
Welcome to the Buyer Merch panel. Anyways, the other reason we're here today is because at the previous PoniesOnline event, myself and Scrimmy somehow just walked over, straight over somebody, poor Quinch, and there they are. Actually, good timing, Quinch. Right when I started talking about you, you showed up. They offered to do some vocal readings as a charity item. And we just somehow, it was right in the center of the list, and we both skipped over it, going, oh, shoot, yeah, we're done with items. And that's what made me feel even worse, is that I was at the end of the item, we just need one more item, which we hadn't auctioned it off. Like, that's adding insult to injury, for sure. But anyways, we're going to have the Quinch later for doing a reading, and they'll be involved in the charity auction. Plus, I did manage to get some other cool charity items coming up. For those of you who know, or My Little Ties, they have donated a pin. I'll get pictures of that for you right before the auction and put them in the chat. We also have Gleamy Dreams has donated some pins. They are not at home right now, so I'm not sure if... actually, no, they're going to be here later on to participate in the poker game along with Bolt. In fact, little announcement about that. Bolt and Gleamy will be playing as a team because they are in the same place right now. So they will be playing team poker. I mean, it's a charity event. Who cares? They can't really cheat any other way, so that's fine. And yeah, that's going to be a heck of a fun thing. We're going to be playing poker in the Discord here, using this poker game, which I've tested a couple times, but I haven't really played a full game in, so I'm hoping it goes well. But I think it's going to be great. Now, I see some people joining in the audience. Who's joining there? We got, let's see, Saturn, Quinch, CR's been here all day, Shade Hunter, Rye, Saxon Castellu, that's new, and is that Lunar Brony, or it's I just see Luna, and that was T, not L. And whoever you are, sorry, I can't see your name. Anyway, yes, now, so the other things I wanted to go over for the schedule today, we had coming up after this, shoot, where did my schedule go? Dang it, I keep closing the wrong windows on myself. Ain't that fun. There we go. So, the next thing we have coming up is Drumstick Pony Lunch Break, but that's going to be in about 30 minutes. So, I thought what we might do now is finish that last episode of Make Your Mark we didn't get to see this morning. Didn't that suck missing that on that because of the technical issues? So, I think using a good portion of these quote-unquote opening ceremonies is to go back to the opening and finish that with some ceremony. What do you think?
Sounds good to me.
Any objections from the audience? Or do you all hate, or do you all want to watch some more ponies? Because I think there was just, we had one episode to go, which is 20 minutes long. That'll take us right up until Drumstick Pony comes to do some fun things. All right, let's do some ponies. Let me just open up the vid with the correct application.
Yeah, Quinch says more ponies is always fun.
Yes.
Very true.
And I will be stopping the Twitch stream for this because, again, I don't want to get our Twitch shut down. But it will come back up as soon as Drumstick Pony's panel begins. And this will be a nice little end to the first VOD and stop me from having to edit the whole thing at once.
Yeah.
Hooray for less work.
Yeah, if you're on the Twitch, come on over to the Ponies Online Discord.
Yes, and if you don't know where
you
that
find
is...
the invite link.
Oh, yeah.
You find the invite link on our Twitter.
Or at this link I'm sending right now.
Oh, that works too.
Yeah, there, it's right there. Or on the Ponies Online website. It's also there. All right, so now let me just stop